Kabale University is set to have its first ever Doctor of Philosophy graduates in the upcoming graduation ceremony. The event is scheduled for Friday 25th, 2024 at the university premises. A total of 1,671 students will be conferred degrees across various academic disciplines. Addressing journalists at the press briefing ahead of the ceremony, Professor Kwesiga, the University Chancellor, highlighted the significant milestone. She noted that when the university was still a private institution, it was only permitted to offer master's degrees. Now, as a public university, it has a capacity to confer PhD degrees, marking an important step in the academic growth.
They know that Kabale University opened its gates in 2001 with 42 students. We now have over 6,000 students. We are hoping to reach 7,000 shortly because we are still registering students. So we are very happy that we are growing. Now in this academic growth, as we think of graduation, let me just let you know the summary of how the steps we have taken or how we have evolved. When you are a private university, as we started as a private status, you are only allowed to run a few master's programs, but not PhDs. And even those ones, you run them at a much lower level. So when you get a charter, because in 2005, we got a license to run the university. In 2014, we got a charter for a private university. That is the last stage of accreditation. But we are very lucky as a university and as a region. The founders of this university, who were the people of Kigezi, asked the government of Uganda to take over this institution as a public university. So since late 2015, we are a public university. And that's why
Professor Kwesiga emphasized that this transition has enhanced the university's ability to attract distinguished professors, a developing bolstered by support from the Ugandan government.
And for the first time, which is our real academic growth, we are going to graduate people in PhDs, in PhD awards, Doctor of Philosophy, which is the highest qualification. This is in business administration. We have got other doctorates being taught, but this is the first group, and we are very proud of our pioneers whom we are going to interact with so that they can tell the community about their experiences. So we are proud of our two pioneers.
The pioneer PhD graduates include Caroline Murezi, who will be awarded a PhD in Business Administration Entrepreneurship, and Dr. Paul Tudiahebwa, who will receive a PhD in Business Administration, Finance and Accounting. Caroline Murezi shared that her motivation to pursue a PhD was influenced by Kabale University's transition from a private to a public institution, aligning with her desire to meet the university's evolving standards.
From the time we were in a private university, life was very soft and everything was moving on, at a slow pace, and we thought we would fit. But from the time the university was taken on as a public institution, everything changed, and I saw myself falling irrelevant anytime. So for that matter, when the PhD program was introduced, I was like, I must be one of the people to embrace this program. And it was that energy that I really engaged that has brought me to this level.
Meanwhile, Dr. Tudiahebwa urged the Ugandan government to increase awareness campaign so that taxpayers better understand their rights. He also suggested that simplifying tax regulations could encourage compliance, ultimately increasing government revenue.
The use of computer, the use of internet. So if the government could support taxpayers in terms of reducing the cost of internet, and even those areas where internet accessibility is very limited, they could look for a way of boosting the internet connectivity and also reducing the cost of internet in terms of data. so that the cost of compliance could reduce. And if the cost of compliance reduces, it means that the government would earn more revenue, especially those taxpayers that will require. I've said that it is under self-assessment system. Some taxpayers are illiterate and would require the assistance of tax professionals. And the assistance of tax professionals goes with costs. So if they could train, if they could do support, they could reduce the cost, and the compliance component or the compliance part of it would improve and enhance the revenue collection.
Samuel Umuza, ABK Vision.